here. Let me get him really tuned into me, thinking about me, so before he goes, oh, I see that's coming, I'm going to organize my maneuver to get over there and get some. So it's always on us. It's what happens before it happens, and it's the whole leaving disconnecting, because they have to. If they want to look at something else, they're going to have to disconnect. And you just have to see that pattern, what it looks like when they disconnect, and go, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Okay.
Until they just get in the go, I can't keep my eyes off you, because it's the only way that keeps you calm. If I look away, you start brewing up a storm in your body, your energy comes up, and eventually they're going to go, I know that look, Mama's look. You did something, okay, I'm back to, or I know the consequences, and the consequences are basically just, let's practice our ABCs again. If you don't want to, if you're disconnecting, it means you're not being a good partner. So it's my fault. I didn't train you well enough. Let's go back to the beginning. Yield our hindquarters and yield our fork. Back up.
Okay.
Little things like that until they go, what I got to do to get you calm? And if that just means staying connected with you, in matching your energy level, harmonizing and synchronizing with you, if that keeps you calm, then I'll figure out how to do it. That's horses. How they live in the wild in different environments. They just judge every moment as a moment. So, there's some horses that basically live on desert type terrain, and some are in mountains. They all adapt however their environment requires for them to survive. So for him to survive, his job is to go, yes, ma'am, and and match your energy, and nothing more, nothing less. And that's all comes from us. If we don't notice, what is the saying? Anyway, if it doesn't matter to you, it's not going to matter to them.
Right.
So if you notice what you need to really pay attention to, and that's just attention and respect, and everything else flows with that. But when you lose attention, it's because you've lost respect, and they're looking for entertainment somewhere else, and we just got to go, okay, I need to step up my game and see what I got to do to keep you interested and engaged. Like a charismatic person, that somebody's just, whatever they have in them, it just bubbles out of them, and you're just drawn to them. You don't even know why, even though they're, from other sources, that they're actually not a good person, like a politician type. So they're all full of BS, but there's some magnetism to it. And that's all we're trying to do with horses, is find how to be magnetic, and want them to draw them in so much that we can send them out, and they're just like, okay, I'll be out here as long as you, but as soon as you say come in, I can't wait to get next to you again. That's really what we're trying to build. And once we get that, then they'll just do this, whatever keeps me in your good graces, because matching my energy feels really good.
So the best plan is to anticipate.
Yeah.
Right. So
You're always got to be 3 steps ahead.
What happens before it happens, and also, if, like, for example, that's a good example, or we're out here and he says, "Oh, I want some grass," right? And I mean, it's got to be.
As soon as you see that thought cross his mind, go, "Hey, how can you? And he's like,
right.
Just change his perception, changes his direction of thought, and I thought you were chatting with your friends. I thought I'd sneak over here and get me a bite to eat while you were doing something else. You go, oh, I wasn't doing something. You're tuned in enough. That's one of those deals that people don't realize this. They'll want to go on a trail ride, but they're really wanting to talk to their friends. They're not talking to their horse at all. So they're chatting, and next thing you know, they're pulling on their faces, and even if they were properly educated, sometimes they get carried away with their emotions drive everything. So if you got a story to tell, you got a friend that likes to hear. It's hard to ignore that. Hey, but it's just, you got to be thinking you're having a conversation, constant conversation. If you're not talking to him, Mother Nature's going to start, and if she starts talking, he's going to do what feels best to him. It's the reptilian brain. I'm going to do what makes me feel safe and comfortable. That's why I always emphasize how important it is that they're looking at you, because then they're paying attention, they're connected. If they're not looking at you, they're looking for something else to entertain them, or help them feel safe. Hey. Okay, come on. So attention first and then direction.
Okay.
That's another big mistake I see people doing. And some of the things that I did wrong when I first started doing it is I would just assume I'm going to go through my phases, and if I lost attention at phase 2, I just kept going to phase 3 and 4, and it didn't. When really I could have skipped all that and went to phase 4 to say, hey, I need your attention back. And as soon as I get your attention, then we can start at phase 1. Because if you don't, next thing you know, you're starting. This is your phase 1,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to go way higher from that.
Right.
Just you got to always mentally go, okay, I'm talking to my 2-year-old grandkid here. I'm being as gentle and as nice as I can, but there's boundaries, and that cliff's a boundary, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep you away from that cliff. So that's all. Everything's a cliff. That they think, well, it could because they don't know, and they'll let Mother Nature, if they're used to letting Mother Nature override and make their own decisions instead of taking leadership from you, then in a scary situation they may refer to that and try to do that, unless you've written such a strong neural pathway that they just go, nope, it's better to ask you every time. Better to talk to you and listen to Mother Nature every time. Unless, using Mother Nature's sensitivity that's built into them to go, oh, what do you hear? What do you feel that I don't see or sense? And, like the old Black Beauty thing about going over the bridge that was about to wash out.
Yeah.
He could tell that it was... But they were tuned into his sensitivities instead of, you stupid horse.
Right.
So
Right. Like you don't.
they.
Or do you want mine? I don't care.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Either way. Okay. I'm gonna turn the lights on if you want.
Okay, no worries. But I think that the hardest part is once you get the theory, then everything gets easier. In our minds, we think we have to do X, Y, and Z when all we're really doing is trying to build the communication and relationship, trust and respect, and then everything follows. Because you can't love or be loved without trust and respect, mutual trust and respect. So in their minds, what trust and respect looks like is what we have to be when we're with them, and then everything flows from there. Then it gets real easy. But I just see a lot of. I don't see it with you. I just know this is a tendency with humans to do human things and use our hands first. And
Well, I've been reckoning what's predatorial in myself, because I definitely, without even thinking about it, it's automatic. I do that pull thing. Definitely, there's some grabbing.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always.
and most of that is because you weren't far enough ahead that you could have prevented the need to grab, because you're 3 steps ahead, and you say, I saw you shift your weight.
Yeah.
I saw your mind go, and I know what happens when you do, like, your feet are just going to follow. So if you're paying attention, clued in enough to, you can nip all that in the bud, put out that spark before it turns into a flame, then you won't need any of that stuff. And then it starts to become a game. You're going, okay, I'm just trying to figure out what you're thinking. Can you figure out what I'm thinking? And we start syncing, and everybody's happy. Happy to be together all the time. Especially itchy spots. Uh-oh, sniffy time. And that becomes a habit, is that if his attention goes away, that you're automatic, instead of grabbing him, you're going, okay, I'll go over here and get this fly off your butt. He's going, oh, what? Where are you going? You're like, oh, I was just kidding.
And, it's so interesting, because what I especially hear you saying about horses that have had their pasts,
Yep.
whatever they were, and we don't know.
Well, people are the same way. They've had their past, and you don't know.
And the protective parts of people, as found in psychology, is like we have to work with those parts to get to what we call self-energy within the human.
Yeah.
It's everything you're talking about, what you're trying to get with them, the calm, the connected, the confident, all the 8 weeks, the 8 C's of self. It's the 8 C's that we're looking for to get them connected to, so that they don't act through the parts that have become protective. Like you said, Leota, the years go back, she might even try to bite, like when you were on her yesterday. And I'm just like, oh, that's like a protector. That's like a protector. We call it protectors as humans. This is the protective parts that she's developed, is to try to get to that safety and comfort, like you said.
Exactly.
That's all we're ever trying to do. And the protectors and humans, they just evolved because a lot of people, they had to work through a lot of shit, and that's the only thing their brain could come up with. So they have all these different things, like part
'Cause
of
their
the
parents-
flies or
their-
whatever.
their
And
par-
I'm starting to think the horses have these things that they develop. I mean, I know they have Mother Nature and they have these ways living in prey animal, and that, you know, they're prey animals in nature. But I also know that then you add in predators that took care of them and didn't take good care of them, and then they got to develop these other protective parts to live in the world that they're stuck in, because they don't have a choice. Like a kid, it's in the family.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, oh, so we're trying to work with their protective parts,
Yeah.
just to get them reconnected with something that feels good inside, and then
They can have their dignity.
yeah, and then you help them do that, and then you're their safety and comfort, and then you become their way to connect with what you call human self-energy. And
So
I'm
you-
like, it's the same damn thing.
Same thing.
I was
Exactly.
like, oh my God, I'm like getting all these road to what is going on here, especially for horses
Yeah.
that didn't have a good experience with
Yeah.
humans.
That's where we raised some racehorse babies for that very intention, that they didn't have anything, any what do you call it, permanent marker on the dry race board. Everything is nice and clean and put in. Now we didn't have the time with my situation, didn't have the time to spend with them that I would wanted, but you know, to get them, theoretically you can get them at a super high level before they're even ready to ride. And mostly what we got is built their confidence and understand pressure and like being around the human. The human's always good to them, has everything they want, and so we have that much going for them. But eventually, when we get the funding for all the stuff, we'll have, you know, a whole team of people doing stuff with them all the time. Kind of like they do with athletes now, kids that are in school that are young, that are protege type. They've got a special college with it that has real professional golf, tennis, whatever teachers, and then they do a almost like a homeschool type study to keep up, so they can play. So that's all. That's my idea, is where horse racing needs to go if it wants to. And the billionaires, that's the only thing they can't buy is the Kentucky Derby trophy. So if there's a way to do something different outside the box that's going to be way better, I think they'll want to invest in it once I've proven the concept, because theoretically we all know there's just no other way, you know, to be the best, is if you have to have all that 8 C's going on all the time. To be able to get into the flow state is where your body's most efficient and most effective. So that's really what's missing with horses. But because they're all in the same boat, they're all in the same tension all the time, you know, varies across their horsenality and their experience and stuff. Some are better than others, but all in that box, they're missing that big piece of the puzzle that could put them over the top. So that's my theory on kind of why we're doing the racehorse thing. You know,
And are you training jockeys as well?
I have to because we're different. Exactly. So that's our biggest problem right now, is getting a jockey to. I mean, the Pirelli program and the National Horsemanship's big, but it's not huge, and it mostly attracts older ladies that, you know, the romance of having a horse when they were a kid. They can finally have one now. That's the biggest. So handsome.
They're the biggest ones who join.
That are in the horse world type. So, you know, it hasn't spread to the performance world as much yet. And I think that once that happens, and once people realize the torture they're putting on horses unintentionally, it doesn't take.
They don't mean to.
They just think that's the way you have to teach a horse. So, because that's how they were taught. You see him kind of going, so that's when you can change your phases and go, because he's almost going dozing off. He's not looking away, but he's just going, I'm not tuned into you. So then that you got to go. I got to get your attention, and if you have that energy in the right direction, I should have done that. I brought up energy showing you a deal, and he wasn't. He saw it and was like, "What did I do wrong?"
And the minute he gives one step back, that's
You're just looking for how light can I ask And every time you start as light as you possibly think you can, enough to keep his attention, and then steadily increase that pressure until he goes, until you go, oh, I want, and you start to see the weight shift. Then you stop the pressure.
Right,
Pressure,
weight shifting.
pressure motivates, release teaches.
Yeah, and even because that's
As soon as it gets to his mind what to do, that's kind of what her deal is. You, she goes, okay, I'm coming, but the pressure doesn't stop. She's going, yes, I understand, but the pressure stayed on, which means you're not doing it right. I need you to do it. So she finally just got, I'm just tired of dealing with stupid people. But once you offer her a feel and give her a chance to think about, then she comes right around. She goes, oh, this is what you want. I'll do that and get my reward.
that's something I'm to work on the end because I've heard these things conceptually, but I know I have this part of me that's like, oh, so he stepped backward. I'm going to keep, I
Yeah,
don't let the pressure.
it'll eventually get where each step is just this much energy. You just as a step, release the pressure, pick up the pressure. Once he really knows it, then it's going to be easy to. Then you're going to test and see, can we do that? And you can see his engagement if he's like, okay, I know there's a reward at the end of the tunnel here somewhere. Let me, and then first day, leaning back. Second day,
It's so much training for us.
It is.
I'm the one.
it is.
It's like, okay, hey,
Yeah.
this counts if he shifts his weight. You don't
Yeah.
have to.
He got the
You
message.
10 steps backwards until you say, oh, you did it.
Yep. But you're looking for quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. I got to. It's part of me that thinks, more is
Yep.
better, or you got to do it right in order to do it right. You do it.
Oh, he's so smart. I can't believe how good he is. But once that yield in his hindquarters, go ahead. Once that yield in his hindquarters becomes a habit, pattern where then he'll quit. He won't be so quick to try to run off because his mindset is thinking and being in the partnership rather than, oh, here we're going to do something. I'm just going to make it hard on you to do stuff to me and frustrate you, and then I can go back to being the rest of my day.
Yeah. You're just something frustrating.
Ah. Yeah, you could even consider not yielding his hindquarters a defense mechanism. It keeps him in a power position that he can get ready to go. Yeah, and this is I can't go right now. I'm going to have to untangle and then go.
Well, that makes sense that they don't want it to.
Mhm.
Like,
That's what I said.
from their nature.
I hadn't thought of that being a defense mechanism, but or labeling it like that, but actually it is. Everything they do.
How I protect myself. It's all about protection.
Yep, safety and comfort. Safety and comfort.
And we have protectors who manage us, but we also have protectors who are like firefighters that are ready to put
Yep.
fires out. Like, it's going. Now I got to put pain out. I got to put it out. What are we going to do? We're humans. They drink, they eat, they work too much, they do everything, this, that, and the other too much.
You are so super
It's all
smart.
about protecting themselves from what's hurts underneath.
Yeah. Well, whatever their experiences are that got them in a hurt, they're going to see that coming well before and start avoiding. And he has an idea of what we're going to do. We're going to go put a saddle and a bit on and go jerk and pull and kick and go where we're going to go. But if we make it fun and interesting for him, he's going to look forward to. He's not going to feel like what we're doing is a chore. He's going to go, oh, this is another word I got to learn. This is another letter that part of my vocabulary that I'm going to have to learn in order to make it in the world. When we get out in the world, I'm going to need to understand all these things to survive, just like we're doing to our kid or grandkid. We're just, there's all kinds of little things you need to know that I was late. I saw it, and I didn't think he'd go, and then he went.
So you made it up us to get him. Nope,
Yeah.
you're an idea. We're not doing that. We're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that.
Blocking it any way I can, because that's his. Not once we start shutting down his known self-defense mechanisms, he's going to go, well, that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. Let me try something else. Maybe, hopefully let me just key into you and see if that's a good thing. I'm not always mad at him for taking his attention away from me. He took it to something that he wants to be curious about anyway. It's something new. You know, he's telling me, giving me feedback, but I'm interested in that. So I'm going to say, well, wait, let's go together, not just you take off and go. And all the little things that you do, again, with your grandkid. You can't just take off in the candy store and go grab stuff and stuff it in your mouth.
Roads to get there, and then you gotta have some money or pay for candy. How about if I offer you something better?
Yeah. You want to go see your saddle? You want another cookie so bad? Huh? You want another cookie so bad? And so I think I've never heard this before, but I think sometimes horses engage in play, you know, where they get to boxing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost to hit some of the itchy spots, you know,
Trying
drain.
to find them almost.
Well, that might be what horses learn to do with us is once they start engaging with us, and I start looking for an itchy spot to change their mind from wanting to nibble on me to go, oh, keep doing what you're doing and stop, and just change their mind from wanting to be in, and he's just engaging in play. You know, it's going, well, what are you going to do if I do this? What are you going to do if I do that? And some people go, oh, he's looking for a cookie, here, give him a cookie.
Yeah.
Exact wrong thing to
So you're right,
do something else, you know, find. So now if he does have an itch, he's going to, or anything, he's going to start engaging us, going, can you help me? Can you figure out what's wrong with it? Let me show you something. Like my horses will come up, if they got an itch, they'll just bring that spot of their body to me and, you know, lean into me and look like, and usually I know what they're looking for, so I'm already looking for the spot as they're pulling up.
Yeah.
They all have their usual suspects, places that always itch on them.
I can almost hear the conversations that you're having with them. It's so obvious to me. That's what you're doing. I just feel much.
Yeah,
That's what I want to do.
I think in some of the videos, especially, I'll be talking to them as I'm doing stuff, almost like that. Have you ever seen the little girl on the snowboard that they mic'd up? She's like 3 years old. She's talking to herself. Oh, you're doing good now, and remembering, running through her mind all the things she needs to remember. That's kind of what I'm doing when I'm talking, when I'm asking them physically things to do. I'm saying it too, like I'll say hindquarter yield,
Yeah, I've heard you talk.
and that's a good habit to get while you're knowing exactly what you're asking for by saying what they can actually learn words, but you have to be. It's almost like clicker training. Your timing has to be so perfect. I just say the words for me and mentally to so I don't forget what I'm actually asking for, so that I can get that before I reward or ask for something else. Unless I lose attention, then no, it's so hard to be a horse with all hair all over your body. This is a big relationship builder, you know, being around just finding itchy spots, because they're never ending on them, and they think, man, if you're that good at finding all my spots and give me that feel of comfort, then I'm going to start putting effort into keeping you calm and wanting to do this instead of wanting to remind me of my vowels and my consonants so we can start forming words.
Yeah, you seem a bit itchier than your average horse, maybe because of all the hair.
Yeah, they are.
You're just an itchy boy.
Yep, they get you all kinds of tools. In fact, the pitchforks that we use to clean shaving stalls,
Yeah.
I go in to pick their stalls or something, I can use that as a scratching thing too. So they're cornering me, going, "Stop cleaning my stalls, start itching my belly." You can itch a pretty wide swath of their belly with one little stroke. So they when they see that pitchfork coming, they're not thinking they want a clean stall. And that's just anytime your horse sees you, you want to go, "Oh boy, you're gonna let me talk to you about stuff that I need." You know, cookies, scratches. Once they start looking at you as the wellspring of joy, all they have to do is a couple little dance steps, turn their dinner. They're like, hey, this is a good trade, good trade. So smart, handsome. There's those marks. Okay. How's this hindquarter yield? How's this hindquarter yield? Nice. That's like perfection. That's like superstar perfection. That really was. I know. Don't give me that look. There you go. I know. I know. He loves those cookies. You get some itchy spots over here.
One of the 8 C's is courage. And I think in some ways it takes courage for them to trust you to be able to do something like this, which in nature would be a safe thing to do.
Yeah.
Cross their legs and not be able to run. I just feel like there's something. Well, it's courageous on both ends.
Yeah.
Because it's courageous for a human to say, all right, I'm gonna form a relationship with this animal that should not be able to, like a prey animal and predator being partners. Seems miraculous. I know it's been that way for thousands of years, but no longer.
Well, nature's funny. You look at some of the animal species in the ocean that'll hunt together. An eel and I can't remember what other fish, but they'll go find each other, communicate somehow, and one takes the high and one takes the low. And how would that ever happen? Did you ever see my octopus teacher?
Oh, I've heard
Oh
about it.
my God, it's amazing. It's just amazing what. There's a book called "Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are?" And you can listen to it on YouTube for free. Somebody put it on there, but it's like one of the most amazing collection of animal studies. The guy talks about how animals' brains work and the amazing things they get caught doing in nature. Now that we have so many people looking with cameras all the time, we're catching even more wild stuff. Like there was a cheetah that was orphaned and nursed by a Brahma cow, and now they have night vision video of the cheetah as an adult coming and curling up with the cow at night, sleeping. There's just tons of examples of that make you just go, what we know and think about prey-predator behavior. Just like there's a video in Florida of a horse attacking a crocodile or alligator, whatever they have done there, just because he had to be the protector of the herd, so he had to be more predatory in those situations. Kind of like you see the bison attacking or the elk attacking. There's somebody's got to be the enforcer of the herd. Everybody's got their job in the herd, so. Horses aren't completely prey animals. They have predator in them, and if pushed into a corner and given a bad situation, you've heard of horses attacking people, elephants attack people. It happens because it.
It feels like part of what they have to do if they're going to respond to fight.
Yep.
Like they can't flee and they have to fight.
Yep.
Freezing won't work or whatever. So maybe that includes attacking it on occasions where there's no other choice.
Yep. You see some horses, if they see a dog for the first time, they want to follow it, and some horses go, "What the heck is that?" Just different personalities. Some have that herding instinct and want to. That would be their job in the herd. That wasn't very good.
At some point, I am having trouble understanding, even though I have theoretical understanding, like porcupine and like dry bone, how to get a forward yield, even on the ground. Like I conceptually understand ways to do it and what you're looking for, but I don't get it.
Okay.
I haven't done it.
Okay, so to explain how I think about the four-quarter yield, I'm thinking about if I'm going to ask him to go that way, I'm thinking about I want this foot to step under that one. And when he sees that's what I'm at, when I start to point where he's going, if his attention goes that way, you know, then I'm not going to add pressure here. But if it doesn't, I'm going to add pressure almost at an angle towards his shoulder, trying to get him to go move away from the pressure this way. So from this angle, so that would take that foot underneath the other one. So if I'm just talking, that's what my intention is. So horses communicate with each other with energy. So if I just put my intent on where I think I want that foot to go and make that energy go that way, then he's going to go, I see energy coming at my leg, let me just move it away.
So what he just did would even count a little bit.
Yep, that was perfect. That was exactly what I wanted. I mean, it wasn't, his leg picked up and was shifting his weight, and it was headed in the direction that I was thinking. And like I said, as soon as he picked it up and I could see that it was going that way, I let the pressure down. If I wanted to go again, if I wanted him to go out on the circle, I'd put more energy out. I'd, brought my energy up, but I was just asking to see how little energy I could expend asking for that one little thing. And then I'm going to bank that and go, okay, when he was in this frame of mind, and then I just up and asked him to do it, I had to do, 2.3 seconds of energy at a low level, and then it's almost like having a data set. Okay, next time I'm going to see if I can hope you can do it better, and kind of all the time tuned into his energy, and you can watch how his facial expression changes to indicate that he's thinking or he's rolling his eyes at you.
Right.
So, and then affect his energy in whichever way. If he's trying, just kind of keep going nice and soft. If he's going, no, then you can get more energy up. And you're always trying not to hit him. You're trying not to touch him, but you're definitely going to if he doesn't try in the right direction. So you're getting your energy up and making a lot of noise and getting close, but not touching him, or maybe even tickling him a little bit with it. And then when you really feel like he's just going, oh, you got to make me, then make him, and then be ready to deal with the fireworks that might have caused. And just always in your mind have a plan 3 steps ahead. If he does this, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And just slow and easy as it takes. You're not out here trying to do a bunch of tasks. You're trying to get him in that frame of, okay, you want to do something. All the doing stuff, he already knows how to do it. He just doesn't know how to be asked to do it the way you're going to ask him. So your consistency and your commitment to just getting the right answer as light and responsive as you can, and then rewarding that. Eventually, you won't have to reward as much, because one, you've almost probably by then satiated all these itchy spots to a point where he's not going, oh, this is amazing, I haven't had this in forever, I want some more and more and more. And so if we build up that emotional piggy bank and really overpay him for a while, and then he realizes, man, all I got to do is these little things, and if I don't do these little things, she's going to keep asking me, and then as soon as I do that little thing I could have done it way back then, I could have got all this that I really wanted. And he's going to start putting 2 and 2 together and just go, let me do what you ask so we can get loving. And then horses don't really have a concept of time, so you can hit a couple spots and it could mean 10 minutes to him. He doesn't know. Then you can go on to the next thing, and he's like, oh, back in school, okay, let me hurry up and figure out what it is so we can get back to scratching me. I must not have done the other one good enough to get 10 minutes again.
The other thing is that, again, it's kind of like thinking that it only counts if you've done like a quarter turn on the fork or on the
Yeah.
fork wheel. And it's like,
Well, that you're just building up to that. You're just
the shift, but even the shifts, it's
in the right direction.
in the right direction.
Did you misunderstand me? And then you ignored me when I put the stop sign out? Oh my goodness, what a silly boy. So however bad he just was, his attitude coming to me soft and light, all that, there's no punishment anyway. They don't understand punishment, but it's just, as soon as I get this good attitude, you're going to get good times. If I get no good attitude, See, then he started to come in like he does, and I went, I wouldn't do that if I was you, and he read that and went, ah, and then he relaxed, and now he comes in, but he's not quite as impolite. He's just happy to get me busy with my fingers. Get them fingers. Get them fingers itching on me. But that's really the whole key, is what he's just always looking to you to figure out how to get you back to doing things that he likes to do. How do I get paid again? And, you know, are you interested? Are you fun enough? Otherwise, I'm going to look for my own fun. So, like I said, he has a bad opinion of humans. That's where he's throwing his head up and leaving. He's like, well, I know what happens when I do this. People start leaving me alone. I get myself all tangled. There it is. So really what I'm trying to say is, once you get this relationship really good, everything else just pours out of them, because you know how to ask for every little thing. And that was almost a tool that you used to almost like a repercussion for your attention left. Now you got to do a hindquarter, and now you can get paid. And then further down the road, a hindquarter and a forequarter, or a back up, or 2 steps back. Just, you know, all thinking I'm just trying to get this as light and understanding as possible. So smart. Eventually that's going to build that habit that at any time you're going to ask for something, and you know, you're going to suggest before you ask, and you're going to ask before you tell, and you can tell before you promise. And I know there's, you know, I've got a choice to comply or think of a different answer, and you give them time. And the horses think slow, move fast, so you give them enough time to think. It's another adage. Either give your horse time to think, or wish you would have. Uh-oh, don't just come in all impolite like that. I'll come see you. How's that sound? Wouldn't that be better? Oh, yes, I forgot about this spot. We forgot about how itchy that spot was. You'll hear me on the video sometimes blowing out like a horse. That's almost like a yawn to a horse, that it can be contagious, and they can't do that without relaxing. So it's another way to induce relaxation. Okay, how about some more of this? Yep.
In humans. And it's so interesting to think about the state that you're in when you're curious. It's such an open-hearted place to be.
Yep.
And I know that it's stay about curiosity in horses.
Yeah, that's one of the old adages that Pat Pirelli's mentor told him, is never knock the curiosity out of a young horse. That's so smart. So that's what we're doing here, is getting his curiosity back at him. Man, if I do this, good things happen. But he's still got his old programming, you know, automatically running, so he's making steps and doing things that he just does without thinking. And we're just trying to change that neural pathway that he does this without thinking. He just tunes in and stays connected and happy with where he is. So smart. That's another trick. If you think that they're left you, just stop scratching and see what they do. If they go, well, wait a minute, what do I got to do to get you? Just, it's all about getting them to ask you a question. Anytime something comes up, anytime they have a question, they ask you. They don't go, what does Mother Nature say to do? Or unconsciously do what Mother Nature says to do. So really, that's what training's all about, is, you know, building that relationship and building that understanding of what they want, having a plan for if they do it, if they don't, No, that's not what I said. Thank you. Good job. You smart pony. Yes, you do. You got itchy spots in all the space. All the places you got itchy spots. Huh? So I know it looks like sometimes I'm not doing that much, but really building that relationship and that understanding of. I know you don't say that, but it compared to other trainers, they're out there trying to go click, click, click and do things with the horse instead of this is building you for tomorrow.
This is really making it very concrete for me.
The yawning, that's all.
How that looks and how you do it. Like, I've been hearing this for a year.
Yeah.
You know, I joined Probably Savvy Club over a year ago, and I watched the videos, and I have another instructor, and she's quite accomplished, let's put it that way, but it never, I mean, you really take it down to like, you know, let's break it down, like literally, like to the smallest unit of this thing we're trying to do here. That helps me a lot because even all knowing all the things, all the phrases, what's level one, what are you trying to, you know?
Yeah.
I still was very confused about.
I was too. That's why I ended up having to go. I knew I had to go be with Pat or be around, you know, instructors and just so I could see what was going on, because there's little things I know I needed to understand what happened, what caused you to change and do this or do that.
Why did you, any given moment,
What did you see? That's kind of why I video it too, so that I can either refer to it, you know, or if you were watching, you didn't see that side, or all kinds of things. Now this video, you know, this lesson lasts forever. Nice. You're so smart. You are so smart. How he nicely, quietly checked in with me. He wasn't leaving. He was just taking care of something he needed taken care of. It's kind of like if I start to ask for a backup or something, and all of a sudden a fly lands on him before I'd actually started the pressure, I'll go get your fly, you know. But if I'd started the pressure already, then he should be in that focused zone instead of feeling, you know, where you see a horse that's in a tense, anxious situation, they won't feel flies. They just don't acknowledge them. They just
you can't pay attention to that one.
they don't feel when they're in that.
Save your life.
Yeah. But if they're in a relaxed state and any fly lands anywhere,
Well, it's the hierarchy of needs.
Yep.
We have ours too.
Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Ah, he's so smart. He's so smart. He's a pit bull. See, yawn 3 or 4 times. That's all great signs. In fact, that was one of my made-up rules of thumb. If I was starting a cold, I wouldn't get on until they were yawning. Once they're yawning, then it has to go through their body. They can't fake that. So they must feel pretty relaxed if they can do that. Oh, that was a good one. I don't know what that attitude's about. What about your belly? Oh, that feels pretty good too, huh? Oh, that feels really good. Spots right there, huh? You got some happy spots. Okay, hi Cordial. Oh, you're so smart. He's the super smartest pony. See, he's the super smartest pony. It's like that. You couldn't even see any energy that I put out. You couldn't see any signal. That's why people that did this with horses back in the old days were called horse whisperers, because people couldn't see how subtle their signals were. So they thought they must be whispering or something. Beautifully done. He's like a champion at that. He's just like a champion at that. he started to look away when I started to add pressure. He's like, nah, I'll just ignore you, and that's why I went, got higher until I got his attention back, and then we reset and start again. Because part of that's a self-defense mechanism. When you start adding pressure, there's, I'm going to get hit. I just look away. But if he thinks this is not that, it's just a signal that he has to decipher.
That's also you trying to get
Keep, go, if you're going to look over there, I'm going to come over here. And if you're going to look down there, I'm going to sneak over here, drop my rope. Ah, you're back. Good job. Ah, you had it and you lost it. You heard a noise. Squirrel farted. If you're bored, we can go do stuff. You want to go do stuff? He said, no, I like loving better. I like some of loving better. Uh-oh. There you go. Now you can get him. Good job. I know. Chores. Everything's a chore. Learning is not easy. Learning is not easy. Oh, what a champ. That was not it. That was it. That was very good. Good correction. Ready, bet, set, sit. Ah. Not too far. Not too far. There you go. You're not leaving. You're just going. You're just going. You're not leaving. Ah, he did it. He did it like a champion does it. Get off your forehand. I see what you're thinking. I see you thinking about leaving. He's so smart. He's so smart. Ah, Nicely done. I know them flies are awful. Them guys are mean, saber teeth, poison. It's just awful. Awful creatures. Worst things ever. I didn't say go anywhere. Whew. That's another big thing you have to notice as soon as because he just makes assumption. He goes, I'm gonna go, and then all of a sudden that turns in I'm gonna leave, and then he's gone. So just noticing all those little things you'll see again on the video, but just knowing what it looks like right before he's thinking about leaving. So smart. He's so smart. Everybody knows it. Just by watching him, they see how smart he is. They know how smart he is just by looking. Oh yeah, there's another one. There's another good one. Oh my goodness. He almost has a map of Louisiana on his bottom lip here. Top and bottom lip as it goes together. Looks like Louisiana. Ah, that's super. Yes, he's so smart. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it how smart he is. He's the smartest pony you ever saw. I've seen it people.
Where El Dorado
Yep.
is.
Yep.
He's from a gypsy farm.
Ah.
It's called Freelance Gypsies.
Nice. You're so smart. You are so smart. Everybody knows how smart you are. Then watch just adding up a bunch of tiny puzzles until he starts doing it even better. And then everything else will get better. The better your horse goes backwards and sideways, the better they'll do everything else. So the forequarter yield and the hindquarter yield are just two pieces of the sideways puzzle, and then you know the backup puzzles. Getting the little things like that, especially the hindquarter yield, strong, is going to save you a whole lot of, like him leaving and then you having to grab and it not working. Oh yes, look at you. You're like a ballet dancer. Like a ballet dancer. Hey, what do you see over there? What are you seeing over there? I don't know what you're so interested in. It's not me. It's not me. I'm more fun than that. You got it all over your nose, didn't you? You got it all over your nose. Ugh, gross. I'll give you a cookie when you deserve one. I already started. Ah, what a champion. We haven't hit this side very good, have we? We got a lot of spots over here too, I bet you. Yes, we do. Oh, so many. What's up here? Okay. Oh, we'll get those first. Yes, sir. I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all about it. sweaty. Sweaty makes it itchy. All righty. Let's give that boy a cookie. Let's give that boy a cookie. He was so good. He was so good. Ah, 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 ah. Okay.
There's a picture of them. They have polls on the website. There's a picture of them about
So you got baby pictures of
on
you?
their website.
Baby pictures?
So I knew they would know who he was when you have the name. So good to see Bill Wyatt and they're very funny.
I'll bite you. I'll bite you. I'll bite you. Hey, what did I say?
Yeah, like, we don't, I definitely feel funny about where all he's been. I know he's been, I'm pretty sure he's been at least 3. Yeah, and maybe more. I don't know. They do that. Sorry. Right. Sorry. And he, right, and so I feel like, yeah, it's definitely possible that he just got sort of discarded in that sense. And, no, he's not. He's a sweet boy.
He found a way to survive.
He did. He did. He did. You found a way to survive, didn't you, bud? Yeah, it's okay.